Welcome to Fazza Poetry World, where hearts turn into poetry. Tonight, I stand at the edge of my own truth, not as someone strong, not as someone perfect, but as someone trembling between fear and honesty. There is a storm inside me, quiet from the outside, but loud enough to shake every corner of my soul. And I don't know if when it reaches you, it will sound like truth, or betrayal. I have carried something for so long, so deep inside my chest, that it became a part of how I breathe, a part of how I speak, a part of how I look at you. Without saying everything I should have said. Have you ever held a secret so heavy that even silence felt like a lie, that even smiling felt like hiding, that every moment of happiness came with a shadow whispering, "You don't deserve this peace"? That's how I've been living. Every single day. With a truth that sat inside my heart. Like an unspoken confession, waiting, watching, growing heavier with every passing moment. And the hardest part, it wasn't just the secret. It was you. Because every time you looked at me with trust, every time your words carried kindness, every time your presence made me feel safe, I felt something break inside me. Not because you did anything wrong, but because I knew I wasn't giving you the full truth. I told myself it was small, something harmless, something that didn't need to be spoken, something that would fade away on its own. But secrets don't fade. They grow. Quietly. Slowly. Until they become too loud to ignore. At first, it was just a thought I buried. Then it became something I avoided. Then something I feared. Then something I couldn't escape. And before I knew it, it wasn't just a secret anymore. It was a weight. A weight I carried in every conversation. In every laugh. In every moment we shared. You saw me smiling, but you didn't see the guilt behind it. You heard my words, but you didn't hear the truth I swallowed. You trusted me, while I kept questioning myself. And still, I stayed silent. Not because I wanted to hurt you. Not because I wanted to deceive you. But because I was afraid. Afraid that if you saw all of me, not just the good parts, not just the easy parts, but the real, messy, imperfect truth, you would walk away. And that fear, it controlled me. It made me choose silence over honesty. It made me choose comfort over truth. It made me hide, when all I wanted was to be seen. Do you know what it feels like to love someone so deeply that losing them becomes your biggest fear, and yet your own truth becomes the thing that might take them away? That's where I've been standing. Between love and fear. Between honesty and silence. Between holding on and letting everything fall apart. There were so many moments when I almost told you. My heart would race. My hands would shake. The words would reach my lips, and then stop. Because in that 1 second, my mind would scream louder than my heart, what if they hate you? What if everything changes? What if this is the moment you lose them? And I would freeze. Again. And again. and again, convincing myself that silence was safer. But silence was never safe. It didn't protect us. It didn't protect me. It built walls. Walls between what I felt and what I showed. Walls between who I am and who you think I am. And with every passing day, those walls grew taller. Harder to break. Harder to climb. Harder to even see through. Until one day I realized, I'm not protecting anything anymore. I'm just losing myself. Because the truth has a way of surviving, no matter how deeply you bury it. It waits. And when it comes back, it comes heavier, louder, stronger. And now, I can't hold it in anymore. Not because I suddenly became brave, but because I became tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of hiding. Tired of carrying something that was slowly breaking me from the inside. And maybe, I should have told you sooner. Maybe I should have trusted you more. Maybe I should have believed that honesty wouldn't destroy everything. But fear doesn't listen to logic. Fear only listens to loss. And the thought of losing you terrified me more than anything. Even more than losing myself. That's why I stayed quiet. That's why I kept this hidden. Not because it didn't matter, but because you mattered too much. And now I don't know what will happen next. I don't know how you'll react. I don't know what you'll feel. I don't know if this truth will bring us closer, or push us so far apart that we can't find our way back. Maybe you'll understand. Maybe you'll be hurt. Maybe you'll see me differently. And that thought, it scares me more than anything. Because I've imagined this moment 1,000 times in my head. In some versions, you stay. In some, you walk away. And I don't know which one is real. But I do know one thing, I can't live like this anymore. I can't keep hiding parts of myself just to feel safe. Because that safety was slowly destroying me. So here I am. Not perfect. Not strong. Not fearless. Just honest. For the first time, completely. No masks. No excuses. No hiding. Just me. And the truth I've been carrying for far too long. I don't expect you to forgive me immediately. I don't expect you to understand everything at once. I don't expect this to be easy. All I ask is, listen. Listen to my heart behind my words. Listen to the fear I've been living with. Listen to the truth I was too scared to share. Because this wasn't meant to hurt you. It was never meant to break us. It was just something I didn't know how to say, until now. And if everything changes after this, at least one thing will finally be real, you will know me. Not the version of me that was easy to love, but the version of me that was afraid to be seen. And maybe, just maybe, that truth will matter more than the silence ever did. And now, this is the part I never knew how to begin. Because saying there is more feels heavier than everything I've already said. But there is more. There is always more. When a heart has been hiding for too long. After everything I've just confessed, you might think that was the hardest part. But the truth is, that was only the surface. Because what I never told you, is how deeply the silence changed me. How it slowly turned me into someone I didn't even recognize anymore. I used to be honest, open, free in the way I spoke, free in the way I felt. But little by little, that freedom disappeared. Replaced by hesitation, by second thoughts, by the constant fear of saying too much, or too little. Do you know what it feels like to measure every word before it leaves your lips, to wonder if even your truth is safe to be spoken? That became my reality. And the worst part, you never deserved that version of me. You deserved someone who looked at you without guilt hiding behind their eyes. You deserved someone who didn't hesitate before being real with you. You deserved honesty, not pieces of it. And I knew that. Every single day. I knew that. But knowing something, and having the courage to act on it, are two completely different battles. And I was losing mine. Because the more time passed, the harder it became to speak. The silence didn't just stay silent. It started growing roots deep inside me. It wrapped around my thoughts, my feelings, even my identity. Until I started asking myself questions I never thought I would ask. Am I still the person they trust? Am I becoming someone I don't want to be? Is this what love is supposed to feel like, or have I ruined it? And those questions, they didn't have easy answers. Because I wasn't just hiding something from you anymore. I was hiding from myself. I avoided mirrors. Not the ones on walls, but the ones inside my heart. Because every time I faced myself, I saw the truth I was running from. And it hurt. Not because the truth was cruel, but because I knew it had the power to change everything. There were nights when I couldn't sleep. Not because of noise, but because of silence. The kind of silence that screams louder than anything. I would lie there, replaying every moment with you. Every smile. Every word. Every memory. And instead of feeling peace, I felt guilt. Because I kept thinking, if they knew everything, would this moment still exist? Would your smile be the same? Would your voice still carry warmth? Would you still look at me like I'm someone worth keeping? Or would everything change in an instant? That question haunted me over and over again. And sometimes, I convinced myself that maybe the truth wasn't necessary. That maybe love could survive without every detail being spoken. That maybe protecting you meant protecting you from this. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. Because love built on silence isn't strong. It's fragile. one truth away from breaking, and I didn't want us to be fragile. I wanted us to be real. But reality comes with risks. And I wasn't ready to face them. Until now. Because something changed. Not suddenly, not loudly, but slowly. I started realizing that the fear I had of losing you was already creating distance between us. Not visible. Not obvious. But real. Because even though you were close, I wasn't fully there. A part of me was always holding back. Always guarded. Always careful. And love can feel that. Even when it's not spoken. And that scared me even more. Because what if one day, you felt that distance? And didn't understand why? What if one day, you walked away, not because of the truth, but because of the silence that thought broke something inside me? Because it meant I wasn't just risking losing you by telling the truth, I was risking losing you by never telling it. And that's when I realized, I don't want to lose you. Because I was too afraid to be honest. If I lose you, it should be because you knew the real me. Not a version of me that was hiding. Not a version of me that was incomplete. But the real, flawed, human me. The one who made mistakes. The one who got scared. The one who didn't always do the right thing, but is standing here now, trying to make it right. Because that's all I can do. I can't rewrite the past. I can't erase the choices I made. I can't go back to the moment where this all began and choose differently. If I could, I would. Without hesitation. But life doesn't give us that chance.